welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. Just 72 days after her marriage, 28-year-old Akriti Sutar was found dead in Delhi's Lodi colony, and the questions surrounding her death are only multiplying. Was this a case of suicide, or was she driven to her death by alleged dowry harassment? Akriti's family claims she was being harassed for a 20 lakh rupee dowry demand by her husband, and his family was physically abused by husband Aratsu Sikka and insists that she had no reason to take her own life. Meanwhile, the Delhi police have arrested her husband and registered a dowry death case, but the investigation is far from over. The CCTV footage, the forensic evidence, the digital records and the post-mortem are now expected to reveal what really happened in Akriti's final hours. Tonight, we cut through the claims, the counterclaims and the social media speculation to ask the difficult questions. What happened behind closed doors? Did warning signs go unnoticed? And will evidence finally uncover the truth? Because coming on the heels of Twisha Sharma's death case in Bhopal and the Deepika Nagar death case in Noida, the case has once again raised questions about dowry, domestic abuse and justice. Today, we are being joined by Akriti Sutar's brother Amey Sutar for an exclusive conversation on NewsX. In fact, before I get in Akriti's brother Amey Sutar, I am being joined by Ved Bhushan. He is a former ACP in Delhi. Ved Bhushan, quickly, I would like to understand from you the speculation that is surrounding this case, that whether this was a suicide or a murder. Why was Akriti found 10 kilometers away from her home? If she had thrown a party to her colleagues at work, then why was it being claimed that she was in a state of depression, and therefore questions raised about why would she take her life when she was coming back from office to her home in a very joyous situation, in a very joyous environment. What can you interpret from the information that is now available, that is in public knowledge?
Megha, prima facie, it's a case of murder only. That's why police registered dowry death related issues 80 Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, BNSS. This is the section of the law under which the FIR was registered, and her husband was arrested. Prima facie, it's a clear case of murder because there was no blood stains on the ground where she was fall from the Palika Kunj. It's a NDMC colony, it's a government colony. That's right, she was in a joyous mood, but it was a long relation of 8 years between this boy Aristu and this girl. And what went wrong within 2 months of her marriage, I think 72 days of her marriage, so strained relation came out and she was supposed to strangled. I think it's a case of strangulation. First she was strangulated, then she was thrown from the balcony or roof of the house.
But then at this point in time, are we right in making these assumptions? Whether she was strangulated, whether she was pushed off the balcony, how are we even reaching this conclusion is my question, because all this information is not privy to us, sir. It is just not. We just know for a fact that she was found dead she was found dead after having jumped or thrown off from that building. She was found dead in a building which is 10 kilometers away from home. There have been previous instances in the last 3 months, twice, that the police have found her online search history, where she has searched about ways to die, whether falling off a second-story building will lead to her death. These are the kind of searches that she has done in the past 3 months, ever since she was married. I'm going to get in Brinda Adige also into the conversation with me. Brinda, even if the girl did commit suicide, the factors that forced her to take this extreme step, would this still amount to murder?
In this particular case, I think it still amounts to murder. Now, why does it still amount to murder is because she might have researched or she might have looked up on the internet different ways to murder, and we still don't know whether she looked up or somebody else did it. So that has to be proof. But let us assume she did it. The bigger question that we want to ask is who pushed her? Who traumatized, tortured, and what is the brutality she faced over there? So why are we not looking at that? But then if you're looking at forensic evidence, circumstantial evidence, if she committed suicide, why was she not there only? Why was the body found somewhere else? So who did that? So these are questions we must ask. But again, the moot question. Why is it that women's lives are not worth anything to anybody? You don't want this woman that you married. Just say, go, divorce, separate. Let's not live together. Just go your way. Does not matter what the world says. After all, your life is so much more precious. But what our justice system does is looks into the entire jurisprudence. How she died, where she died, did you give dowry, did you not, did you promise, is this evidence available? And in the bargain, we have a lot of judges, and that is why the structure itself is so patriarchy, where they keep saying women are misusing this law. How can women misuse this law? The law that dowry death is a heinous crime.
Okay.
And so there must be stringent punishment.
Fair enough. Brinda, coming back, I'll come back to you. I am right now being joined by Akriti's brother, Amey Sutar. Amey is speaking with us on NewsX. Amey, thank you very much for joining us and speaking to us. It's a difficult time for you and your family. I express my condolences for the death of your sister. But if you could tell me the circumstances, you know, in the last 3 months, what kind of messages did Akriti communicate to you or your family, her mother, her father, that you at this point of time are, forcefully believe that it was dowry that was being demanded by the in-laws, by the husband, that she was being harassed, that she was being abused?
एक्चुअली मेरी जो सिस्टर थी उसको 3 मंथ से बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान किया जाता था उनके घर वालों की तरफ से, क्योंकि उनको कहना ये था कि मेरी जो सिस्टर है उसने अपने शादी के टाइम में उनको कुछ डाउरी में या फिर दहेज में कुछ नहीं दिया है, तो उनके घर की कोई भी चीज़ पे उसका कोई अधिकार नहीं है। और बहुत सारी अब्यूज़ लैंग्वेज का यूज़ करते थे उनके हस्बैंड और हैराश करते थे उनको बहुत ज़्यादा। और वो कम्युनिकेट एक्चुअली में मेरी मम्मी से ज़्यादा करती थी, मेरी मदर से, और मेरे साथ भी कम्युनिकेशन रहती थी, बट मेरी मदर हर चीज़ को मेरे साथ शेयर करती थी और मेरे को इन्फॉर्म करती थी। तो मेरे को लास्ट में ये पता चला था कि उसके ऊपर उनके हस्बैंड बहुत ज़्यादा हाथ उठाते हैं। तो मैंने इस चीज़ के लिए एक एक्शन लिया था कि मैं उनके फादर इन लॉ से बात करूं, मेरी सिस्टर के। तो मैंने उनसे बात करी, तो मेरे को लास्ट में उनने जो है मतलब कि ये बोला कि मतलब मेरे को नहीं पता, बट एक ही घर में हो गए, उनको इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में कोई भी इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं थी। ऐसा तो बोलना गलत है। और मेरा मानना ये है कि मेरी सिस्टर जब इतनी दूर तक गई है या फिर उनकी डेथ हुई है इतनी दूर जाने के बाद, तो वहाँ ना हमारा कोई रिलेटिव है, ना कोई हमारा कोई फ्रेंड है, ना कोई हमारा कनेक्शन है वहाँ से। तो ऐसा क्यों हुआ है? ये तो सरासर देखा जाए तो घुमा फिरा के एक मर्डर ही हो गया ना, कि ये तो कोई कह नहीं सकते ना कि ये सुसाइड है।
आपने बोला
सब हमको रिकॉर्डिंग दिखा रहे हैं कि मेरी सिस्टर अकेले आई है।
हमें आपने कहा कि इनकी शादी सिर्फ तीन महीने पहले शादी हुई थी, अप्रैल में शादी हुई थी, अप्रैल 22 को शादी हुई थी, 3 महीने लगभग हुए हैं शादी को। और आपके साथ आकृति की बातचीत होती थी, आपको बताया उसको मारा जाता था, उसको मेंटली अब्यूज़ किया जाता था। क्या आपने आकृति को ये सलाह दी कि वो कुछ दिनों के लिए घर पे आ जाए?
एक्चुअली में मेरी सिस्टर उनसे बहुत ज़्यादा डरती थी, क्योंकि मेरे को उस टाइम नहीं पता था कि उनको अब्यूज़ किया जा रहा है। मेरे को कुछ फ्यू डेज़ पहले ये सब चीज़ें पता लगी थी। करीबन 4 से 5 दिन हुए होंगे मेरे को ये पता हो लगे हुए चीज़ों को। और ये सब चीज़ मेरे को इसलिए वो नहीं बता रही थी क्योंकि उसको पहले से ही धमकाया गया था उसके घर वालों की तरफ से। वार्निंग दी गई थी उनके हस्बैंड ने कि अगर वो बाय चांस मेरे को कुछ भी इन्फॉर्म करती है कि उसके ऊपर हाथ उठाया जाता है या फिर कोई भी उससे अब्यूज़ किया जाता है या कुछ भी चीज़ हमसे शेयर करती है इन सब चीज़ से रिलेटेड, तो वो मेरे को वो ने ये बोल रखा था कि मैं तेरे भाई को बाहर पिटवा दूंगा लड़के बुलवा के, या मैं तुम्हारे भाई को जॉब जो है वो हटवा दूंगा, मैं तुम्हारे भाई को जीने नहीं दूंगा ढंग से, या तेरे भाई को मरवा दूंगा। ऐसे करके उनको वार्निंग दी जाती थी और धमकी दी जाती थी, जिस वजह से वो डर के कुछ नहीं बोल पाती थी। क्योंकि मेरी लाइफ में मेरे फादर के बाद जाने के बाद जो है मेरी लाइफ में जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पर्सन थी वो मेरी सिस्टर ही थी और मेरी मदर थी। और मेरी जो सिस्टर है उसने मेरी फादर की जगह ली थी मेरी लाइफ में। और मेरी फादर की जगह लेने के बाद जब ये सब चीज़ मेरे को देखने को मिली तो मैं तो अंदर से पूरा वैसे भी ख़त्म हो चुका हूँ। और इस वजह से जब वो मेरी फादर की जगह ली तो वो मेरे बारे में ज़्यादा सोचने लगी, इस वजह से वो कुछ एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पाई।
आप क्या अपील करना चाहते हैं पुलिस को, अथॉरिटीज़ को? उसके हस्बैंड को इस समय पुलिस की हिरासत में ले लिया गया है, क्या अपील करना चाहेंगे?
मैं एक्चुअल में ये अपील कर रहा हूँ कि अगर उनके पापा को, चलो ठीक है मैंने मान लिया कि उनके जो फादर थे उनकी सब बोल रहे हैं कि उनको अरेस्ट नहीं करा गया है, ऐसा है वैसा, बट उनकी सबसे बड़ी फॉल्ट ये है कि वो एक घर में रहते हैं तो उनको भी तो सब पता होगा कि मेरे सिस्टर के ऊपर ऐसे ऐसे चीज़ें करी जा रही थी, कि उनके साथ अब्यूज़ किया जा रहा था, उनके ऊपर हाथ उठाया जा रहा था। तो अगर उस मेरी सिस्टर की जगह अगर उनकी खुद की बेटी होती तो वो क्या ऐसा होने देते? और अगर मेरी सिस्टर के साथ ऐसा हुआ है तो उनने उस सब चीज़ों को पहले अटकाया क्यों नहीं? ये भी तो सब इलीगल चीज़ें हैं ना।
जी, आपने कहा कि डाउरी की डिमांड की थी, कुछ 20 लाख रुपए की बात अभी पब्लिक नॉलेज में है। ये कब कब इस डाउरी को डिमांड किया था? आकृति के पेरेंट्स, क्या आकृति के पेरेंट्स से ये डिमांड आती थी? क्या आकृति के हस्बैंड से ये डिमांड आती थी आपको?
उनके हस्बैंड वगैरह ही करा करते थे ये सब चीज़ें। उनके हस्बैंड हो गए, उनकी सिस्टर हो गई, उनकी बहन जो है वो हो गई, यही सब दोनों बोला करते थे हरदम कि तुमने अपने घर से ऐसा सामान लेके नहीं आई, ये लेके नहीं आई, हमको ये चाहिए था, वो चाहिए था, ऐसा वैसा ये सब बोला गया। और शादी से पहले हम सबको बोला गया था कि हमको कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए, हमको खाली आपकी लड़की चाहिए। मतलब एक तरीके से शादी से पहले वो हमारे सामने एकदम क्लीन बनने की कोशिश कर रहे थे।
हमें और ऐसा नहीं है कि ये एक अरेंज मैरिज थी, आकृति को अपने हस्बैंड के बारे में पता नहीं था, ये दोनों एक दूसरे को कुछ टाइम से जानते थे। उसके दौरान कुछ पता चला कि आकृति के जो होने वाले हस्बैंड है उस टाइम पर कोई ऐसे पिक्यूलियर उनके ट्रेट्स, उनका एटीट्यूड कुछ थोड़ा सा सस्पिशियस लगा आपको या आपकी फैमिली को?
जी मैम, एक्चुअल में ये बोलना चाहता हूँ, ये जब शादी हो रही थी तो मेरे को भी थोड़े से, मतलब इनके जो हस्बैंड है वो मेरे को मेंटली थोड़े से सही नहीं लगते थे। मैं बोलता था बट जो भी हो जाए, मेरी सिस्टर ने मेरी लाइफ में मेरे लिए इतना कुछ किया है तो मैंने ये सोचा कि मैं अपनी सिस्टर के लिए इतना नहीं कर सकता। इसी वजह से मैंने ये सब चीज़ें फिक्स करी, मैंने घर में सबको मनाया, बोला कि नहीं मेरी सिस्टर की शादी यहीं होगी, सब कुछ करा। बट मेरा कहना ये है कि चलो मैंने मान लिया मेरी सिस्टर की इसमें अगर कोई भी बोलना चाहे कि फ़ॉल्ट है, बट कोई भी अभी तक उसके घर में परमानेंट नहीं रहा कि अभी उसके बिहेवियर के बारे में ढंग से जान सके। तो मेरी सिस्टर उनके घर नहीं रही ना परमानेंट, कि उनके बिहेवियर के बारे में इतना सब कुछ जान सकेगी कि वो कैसे थे कैसे नहीं थे।
जी बिल्कुल। हमें सूतर हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत शुक्रिया। एंड हियर्स प्रेइंग दैट आकृति's family deserves justice. Akriti's family gets that justice and gets that speedily, swiftly. Let me once again get my panelists into the conversation. I have with me Dr. Swati Jindal Garg as well. She is a Supreme Court advocate. Dr. Garg, how do you perceive this situation?
Well, Megha, it's quite shocking. I don't know whether because of the social media we are able to hear more about these matters, or whether there has been actually a remarkable increase in the number of such shocking matters where one after the other, in a mind-boggling way, these matters are coming to light. At this stage, I feel it is too early for us to ponder as to who is the culprit. See, the investigation has just started. A woman who has thrown a party to her colleagues, and at the same time her Google search history at 2:22 p.m. on the Saturday afternoon, right before she has thrown a party, it shows whether a fall from the second floor would actually cause death. It is, I mean, it can be n number of things. We have a brother here with us today who says that he has got to know only 4 or 5 days back from his mother that there were certain dowry demands made. We have a set of a sister-in-law and a mother-in-law who has allegedly said that she has not got enough stuff from her house in dowry, or that whatever she has got is not up to the mark. If you look at certain things, I know I can be politically incorrect when I say this, but there are certain aspects that immediately follow a marriage, which in our scenario, in the Indian background, we have considered to be a part of the game. The regular nitty-gritties, like we don't like what you get, or you are not good enough for us. But the fact that these regular, please keep it in mind that I am not normalizing this behavior. I do not promote this. I do not condone this. What I find shocking, though, is that a girl who has been in a relationship with a boy, it is presumed that she would know something about his attitude. She would also know his background. She would also have an idea about what kind of parents or siblings he has. But less than 3 months into that marriage, if she dies under suspicious circumstances, uh, considering that the investigation is still going on, I would still say that, everything is not right. And yes, the first finger would be pointed at the in-laws and the husband, of course, because even though she has died far away from her house, the fact remains that she did look up how to die a smooth death or whatever, and the fact that she may have no other reason to have such thoughts apart from the fact that she may be having a traumatic marriage, it does point a finger at the in-laws. But at
Yeah.
the same time, can we really say that they can be the culprits without there being anything pointing at them in the investigation, at least till now? That is the question.
Okay, okay. Brinda, coming back to you, and when we take a look at these cases, and they are shockingly being very revelatory and more and more in number as the prevalence of social media is all surmounting. I don't think. I mean, do you think this phenomenon is something that has become unfortunately increasing in number, or do you think because of the influence of social media, and we have cameras all over, that we are able to put this out very fast and get to know about these situations, I wouldn't say in a timely fashion, but as soon as it happens, there's instantly an uproar. People look up and take notice. They are shocked. It is circulated. It goes viral. So do you think social media in some way is also a boon in being able to propagate this news, to bring it to the notice of the right people, the right authorities, and then also put them under pressure to act on it? And do you think it could also be a deterrent in the future for such kind of acts?
At the outset, yes. Media, technology, social media has made it quite easy for this information to come out, broadcast, and go viral. People get to know about it. But then again, we are just looking at the tip of the iceberg. Not all cases come out in the social media like this. Some of them come after several months when there is nothing that one can do about it. And also we have to talk about the entire digital divide that we are all facing today. A lot of other people. There are poor people, especially women. There are Dalits, there are informal workers. And we know that they also suffer a lot of domestic and gender-based violence. And it's not something that comes out very easily. But yes, at this point, we do have enough of tools to at least ensure that this goes viral and the police take note of it, or the authorities take note of it. And because it has gone viral and we have at least 40% of the information, we are also able to pressurize, especially media houses. They are able to pressurize the state, the police, to register a case, because all of us know, and I'm sure Swati will also agree, police don't file FIR so easily. Even if it is a dowry death case, they would make us go round and round. There is a lot of talk about the Citizens Charter in most of the police offices, saying that FIR is given in 1 hour. But I don't think anywhere in India there's FIR that is done in an hour's time. So yes, this digital social media access and reach is making it more plausible, more possible for such information to go viral and to be available, made available, so that people wake up, people stand up, advocate, and ask questions.
Yeah.
But it isn't enough.
Ved Bhushan, there have been, a series of deaths that have been reported in less than 2 to 3 months. Whether it is about Twisha Sharma's case, there was yet another case that was reported in Delhi, and now we talk about this girl's case, Akriti, where her life has been lost, and they have all died after getting married within a period of 6 months. How do we ensure that our girls are safe?
Brinda has rightly pointed out there are a lot of dowry deaths or murders across India. But these are the prominent case because she was in Delhi. Trisha belonged to a very big family of Madhya Pradesh. That's why this came and we are discussing this issue. As far as Akriti's murder is concerned, her brother, Amar Sotar, is a prime witness in this case. He is explaining everything on your television, on your show, what the circumstances lead to the death of Akriti. Moreover, the death caused within 7 years of marriage. That's why a magistral inquiry that is mandatory as per the directions of law, Supreme Court and Human Rights Commission, that magistral inquiry is still pending. Or moreover, investigation is underway and cause of death yet to be ascertained by the cause of death by the post-mortem examination or by the autopsy doctor. Exactly then we can reach on the conclusion whether it was a dowry-related case or it was a murder. But prima facie, what I think, it is a clear case of murder, because whether it was an accidental fall or whether it was done by her husband, it is not exactly known so far, but exactly a prima facie. That's why police arrested her husband under 80 BNSSS. This is the new act promulgated in 2024. A lot of witnesses, CCTV footage, call details, financial status. Her friends will tell, the close friends will tell what were going on within after the marriage, because they were already know each other from the last 8 years. That's why let us wait for the outcome of the investigation, outcome of the post-mortem report, outcome of the magistrate inquiry that is going on, inquest proceedings. All these tragic incidents can be exactly enumerated or counted when all the reports came, and then we can again discuss after the filing of charge sheet, because it's a very, very serious case happened in the center of Delhi, where the Palika Palace is a very important and very South Delhi posh area. Yeah.
All right, on that note, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, and I'll take a short break. Thanks for watching News6.